We will be opening the meeting with a brief moment of silence or prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. No one is required to participate or be present for any of these, and being in this portion of the meeting is completely voluntary. Board Member Ms. Rosales, I believe you have special guests for us tonight.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight, we have the pleasure and honor to have the Blackman Youth Football and Cheerleading Organization to come and lead the pledge. They've been in the Blackman community for many years now, supporting our young boys and girls with football programs. So I would like to welcome Nate to the podium to lead us with the pledge.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you bow your heads with me and join me in a prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us one more chance to be together. And at this present moment, we are getting ready to make decisions. I pray, Lord, that you give us all, each board member that is here to make decisions. I pray that you give us wisdom and discernment, and that we also be reminded of why we were appointed by you to be in these positions. Lord, we thank you for all that you're about to do. Thank you for protecting every single one of us. I pray that when we leave here, I pray that you give us safe and travel mercies, and that we can come back again and do this all over again. Thank you, Lord, for all that you do. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. You want to take just a second? I'll look over the agenda, and then I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Tidwell. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda. And I do want to mention, as I did Tuesday, you will see a name there that looks kind of familiar. It is my son, Michael Maxwell, who is taking a position at Laverne High School. But I wanted to be full disclosure and let you all know that.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I too need to give full disclosure that on the consent agenda, Breakthrough Tennessee is also mentioned in the facility use section, that we did request to utilize the Blackman High School for a specific event.
Move to approve.
Oh, sorry. Okay, just a moment, Mr. Vaughn.
We have one late-breaking nepotism hire. So Eagleville, we would like to add Tiffany Lamb for a cafeteria monitor position. Michael McLaren is her uncle, and Jennifer Cooper is her cousin. They both teach, but they're at the school, but there is no supervisor. And that name is Tiffany Lamb.
Okay, Mr. Vaughn, you had a motion to approve? Second. Thank you, Ms. Rosales. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We have no guest speaker tonight. And next up is public comment, and we have 9 speakers this evening. And when I say your name, I ask you to come forward, and they'll explain how it works. First up, we have Chelsea Bennett. Yes.
Good evening. As a Rutherford County native and a 2011 graduate of Riverdale High School, I'm honored to stand before you today. After receiving my high school diploma, I attended the University of Tennessee, where I studied English and secondary education. Upon returning home, I taught middle school literacy in Nashville charter schools, serving students with similar demographics and cultural upbringings as many of my peers during my years at the original Central Middle School, before it was Central Magnet here in Murfreesboro. During my time in Nashville schools, I had the privilege of being guided by Jeremy Sager, Executive Director of Nova's Smart Academy. Once as a teacher and he my instructional coach and assistant principal, and a second time when I served as instructional coach in AP and he as my principal. During both times under his leadership, I witnessed test scores skyrocket in 2 different school districts in 2 parts of the city, achieving TVOS Level 5 reward school status. One reason for this reward school achievement is the high number of students who were able to transition out of receiving EL services. due to their WIDA scores. I understand that investing in charter schools here in Rutherford County is a newer venture, but it's a promising one. The vision behind Nova's Smart Academy's school innovations, particularly the structured English immersion program, isn't merely an idea. It's a viable method that can be executed again if given the chance to put the right people in the right positions to serve our kids well. This county is my home, and it's the place that instilled my value system in education, and that all started with my elementary schooling at Case and Lane Academy. At that time in the 90s, Case and Lane was a new, holistic K-8 Paideia option that provided an alternative to what my parents, who are also graduates of Riverdale High School, were accustomed to. The school's focus didn't detract from what the county offered educationally. It added to it and made me more equipped to handle the rigor of my AP and honors classes and expansive social structure once I matriculated into county schools. It's the reason I stand here before you today. Nova's Smart Academy can be that same asset and preparation for incoming students of all backgrounds if given the chance by the county. Voting positively for Nova supports the growing infrastructure in Rutherford and grants us a proper hand in serving our students versus relinquishing control to the state. Thus far, Novus has shown up and served the community, and I believe that the right people are committed to seeing those kids through, just as each of you sitting on this board is. 30 years ago, my parents viewed my new elementary school as an alternative option and a prime educational opportunity for their children to be prepared for the world. In 2025, I ask that you take a chance on investing in the possibilities of the student and parent population that Novus is already serving and will continue serving in 2026 and beyond. Thank you for your time. God bless.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Nakaria Guy. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, could you please speak up? We're having a hard time hearing you. Thank you.
All right. My name is Nakaria Guy, and I'm honored to speak with you today in support of Nova Smart Academy, a proposed K-8 charter school that I believe can make a lasting impact on our community. As someone who has served as a registered behavior technician, I've had the privilege of working closely with children who have special needs. I've seen firsthand how powerful the right environment can be, one that not only provides access, but also tailors to the ways that children learn, communicate, and thrive. Unfortunately, I've also seen the gaps, places where children are misunderstood, overlooked, or underserved because the system wasn't built to meet them where they are. Nova Smart Academy stands out because it is rooted in a forward-thinking model. It's not just another school, it's a program built on the belief that every child deserves a personalized, high-quality education, especially those who are often left behind in traditional settings. This includes children with learning disabilities, children who need a different pace, and children who simply need more support and attention in how they're taught. I know the vision of Dr. Sager and his team is bold, but it's also personal. They are not just creating another school, they are creating another school choice option with access to a better future, not just for one type of student, but for all students and for families like mine, and for the students I've served as an RBT, and that means everything. When you support Nova Smart Academy, you're not just approving a school, you're opening a door to possibility, to innovation, and most importantly, to access. I hope you all vote yes. Our kids deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Erica Roberts.
Good evening, board members. My name is Erica Roberts, the proposed board member and academics committee member of Nova Smart Academy. I bring 20 years of experience in elementary education, which includes being on founding teams of other brand new charter schools and working with diverse student populations. I've also led initiatives that close achievement gaps and elevate instructional quality in schools. I choose to serve because I believe in our mission. College and career begin in kindergarten. Our vision also aligns closely with the Rutherford County School Strategic Plan, particularly its focus on early intervention and ensuring that every scholar thrives both academically and personally. I want to assure you that we have families invested in the success of our school. At the June 14th Smyrna celebration, we added an additional 21 new families to our previously confirmed 19. Our focus has been intentional on community service and engagement. So that post-authorization, Nova Smart Academy isn't just another school option, but the desired school choice for students and families in our community. We will continue to build on that momentum. I want to respectfully address any notion that we are not prepared to serve our special education population. For example, our application is aligned with the latest ESL guidance and current terminology from the Department of Ed. Page 26 of the current ESL manual highlights both pull-out and co-teaching instruction models and reinforces that ESL services must be individualized and further states that ESL is considered a unique learning need, and LEAs are required to provide the student individualized services, interventions, scaffolds, accommodations, and modifications that are written within an ILP. This approach ensures students are supported without being removed from rigorous academic content. Let me be clear, Dr. Sager cannot and will not lead this school alone. While dual roles are common in most new charter schools, we're planning ahead. In year 0, 3 assistant principals will be hired to support academics, culture, and operations. In year 1, we'll add 3 additional support staff already included in our budget. This structure ensures a strong, sustainable start. We've seen this model succeed. Purpose Prep in Nashville, one of our models, still has its ED serving as principal, and they perform at the top 5% of schools across Tennessee. That consistency has been essential to their success. Similarly, Dr. Sager's record, taking a school from level 1 to level 5 and earning a reward school status in just 1 year, proves he's ready to lead with sustainable excellence. And we believe in our team, our community, and most of all, the scholars we are committed to serve. Nova Smart Academy is ready to be a beacon of joy and opportunity in Rutherford County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Charles Frazier.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Charles Frazier, Attorney Charles Frazier. I serve as the proposed board chair for Nova Smart Academy. I'm here to strongly encourage your vote in favor of our application. I'll start with assurance that our team, our founding team, has been responsive to the critical feedback provided by Dr. McCann's and the RCS Review Committee. We have taken that feedback seriously, made actionable and thoughtful adjustments to strengthen our plan. Please do not overlook that we remain committed to both transparency and improvement, because we believe this work in this community deserves nothing less. Our school-based leadership team is designed to ensure strong oversight and shared responsibility during our launch phase. Dr. Sager will serve as the executive founding director and school principal in the early years to provide stable and consistent leadership. Do not disregard that he will be supported by 3 full-time school leaders in the launch phase to oversee operations, school culture, and academics. Be mindful that this leadership team will be supported by an office manager, office secretary, school counselor, ensuring that we have the capacity to serve the proposed 192 founding students in our year 1 without overextending any one individual. A walkthrough of our short-term incubation facility confirmed that while targeted upgrades will be required, the core infrastructure to run a safe school, a safe and functional school, is already in place. This allows us to minimize pre-opening costs while still prioritizing student safety. It's critical to remember that we budgeted for storm shelter boxes in our startup facility. Our request for a 3-year variance reflects our plan to build a fully integrated, code-compliant storm shelter at our long-term facility. Lastly, what has been identified as narrow margins are actually conservative planning. Isn't that what Tennessee is all about? We've intentionally inflated cost productions above current market rates to ensure more realistic expenditures. When we did not receive the New Schools Venture Fund, we made immediate adjustments to include delaying the start date for our executive director, which aligns with our approval timeline. Tonight, you can vote yes to relieve school overcrowding, expand opportunity, and show every child in Rutherford County that you believe in their potential. We will never waver in our commitment to this community. Our mission is clear. Our approach is authentic. Please, please give our charter application your full consideration and vote of support today. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alejandra Beltran.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Alejandra Beltran. I'm here to support Rocketship Charter School application. I live in Rutherford County now for over 6 years and currently residing in Smyrna. This is my 5th year traveling to South Nashville to teach kindergarten humanities at Rocketship United Academy, which just got approved for another 10 years. We are more than a building of staff and students. Rocketship schools build strong communities, and we welcome you like family. At Rocketship, we believe that every child deserves a high-quality education regardless of their zip code. I know firsthand how important that is. I come from a working-class family, and even in a low-income area, I was able to receive a strong academic foundation for my academic journey. I am a proud first-generation Latina college graduate. I earned my bachelor's degree in sociology from Cal State Northridge, all through Pell Grants based off my grade. While in college and working as a teacher's assistant, I witnessed the direct impact I could make in my students' progress and realized the power I had behind teaching children in my own community. I am currently working on my master's degree and teacher certification while gaining valuable experience by teaching on a state permit. Rocketship has provided me with the path to building a strong academic foundation for my students, and I would love to do the same for students in my own community. I love providing students with intentional, tailored instruction to meet them where they are through the emphasis on data-driven small group instruction. In the 24-25 school year, kindergarten, reading, and math, we more than doubled the number of students scoring above average on NWEA MAP assessments. We've consistently received a TVOS level 4 or 5. And Rocketship United has beat the state and district with multilingual learners exiting services in every grade. In addition to growing our students, we grow our community. I truly enjoy the relationships I get to build with families, especially the Spanish-speaking parents who feel an immediate sense of relief when they realize they have someone to help them. They know their children feel seen, understood, and supported. If Rocketship opens a school here in Rutherford, I would love to be a part of it. It would be extremely meaningful to be a part of opening a school that reflects the diversity in the area, not just amongst the students, but amongst the teachers and staff as well. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I respectfully ask that you approve Rocketship's charter school application. We would love to have you aboard the rocket ship. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dominique Smith.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Dominique Smith, and I live in Smyrna with my husband and our kids. Our twin girls will be starting kindergarten this year. The last time I stood before you, I spoke as a parent and as a principal. Today, I return in a new role as a head of schools for another district, overseeing both middle and elementary schools, and still as a deeply invested parent in Rutherford County. My daughters will be attending Stewart's Creek Elementary next month, a wonderful school and one of the reasons we chose our neighborhood. But if Rocketship, Tennessee were approved to open a school in Rutherford County, it would absolutely be my top choice for their elementary education. I say that not just based on belief, but on experience. I was a founding teacher at a Rocketship school in California. It was the first place I felt deeply coached, supported, and challenged to grow. That experience shaped the educator and leader I am today. Rocketship's model is rooted in strong academics, but also in community, connection, and joy. Teachers build real relationships with families. Students receive personalized support. Parents are true partners in the learning process, and kids love the school. I still find myself doing morning dance moves from Rocketship with my daughters in the kitchen. Now, in my role overseeing schools, including working alongside Rocketship leaders, I've seen how seriously they take partnership. Whether it's with families, other school systems, or this very board, Rocketship shows up with transparency, humility, and a deep commitment to doing what's best for kids. I hope you've experienced that partnership firsthand throughout this process. As Rutherford County continues to grow, the need for strong, community-centered options becomes even more urgent. Rocketship is not only ready to meet that need, they're eager to partner with you in doing so. Tonight, I respectfully ask that you vote to approve Rocketship Tennessee's application. I believe our children, our families, and our broader educational ecosystem will be better for it. Thank you for your time and your service to our community.
Thank you. Next, we have Claudia Vasquez.
I will be translating for Ms. Vasquez.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Claudia Vázquez, soy madre de 3 hijos y orgullosa residente de La Verde. También soy emprendedora y dueña de una barbería de nuestra comunidad.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Claudia Vasquez, and I'm a mother of 3 and a proud resident of Laverne. I'm also a small business owner. I own a barbershop here in our community.
Estoy aquí hoy como madre. Mi mayor sueño es que mis hijos reciban una educación de calidad, una que los prepara para ser independientes, responsables, contribuidores positivamente de la sociedad.
I'm here because as a mother, my greatest dream is for my children to receive a high-quality education, one that prepares them to be independent, responsible, and caring members of society. That's also the dream of many families who couldn't be here today, and I'm here on their behalf too.
Ese es también el deseo de muchas familias que, aunque no pudieron acompañarnos hoy, me pidieron que hablara a su nombre. Nuestro condado está creciendo rápidamente y con ese crecimiento vienen nuevas oportunidades.
Our county is growing quickly, and with that growth comes new opportunities.
Rocketship presenta una de las oportunidades. De esas oportunidades es una escuela que valora la colaboración entre familia y maestros y que fomenta una comunicación cerca con los padres y ofrece aprendizaje personalizado para que cada estudiante pueda avanzar a su propio ritmo y alcanzar su meta, algo que muchas familias buscamos.
Rocketship is a school that values collaboration between families and teachers, encourages strong communication, and offers personalized learning so that each child can grow at their own pace and reach their full potential.
Yo amo vivir en Laverne. Es un lugar seguro, tranquilo y lleno de potencial. Por eso me entusiasma la posibilidad de contar con una escuela como Rocketship en nuestra comunidad. Una escuela pública más, una opción adicional que fortalezca las oportunidades educativas de nuestros niños y niñas.
I love living in Laverne. It's a peaceful, safe place with so much promise. That's why I'm excited of the idea of welcoming a new school like Rocketship to our community, a public school option that expands educational opportunities for all families.
Con mucho respeto les pido que consideren votar a favor de esta solicitud. Con su apoyo podemos seguir construyendo juntos un futuro para nuestros hijos. Muchas gracias.
With deep respect, I kindly ask you to consider voting in favor of this application. With your support, we can build a brighter future for our children together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Lakia Covington.
Good evening. My name is Lakia Covington, and I've been an educator for 16 years. I joined Rocketship Dream Community Prep in the Antioch area as a founding teacher when the school opened in 2022, and I now serve as the assistant principal for humanities. I'm also part of the Rocketship's Rising Principal program, preparing to lead a school of my own in the near future, and nothing will make me more prouder than founding a school right here in my own community. I own a home in Laverne. My daughter attends Laverne Middle School, and I know firsthand how much our community would benefit from a Rocketship Elementary School. Rocketship is unlike any other school in Rutherford County. What first drew me to Rocketship was their commitment to parent power. As a parent, I've always believed in being actively involved in my daughter's education, and as an educator, I believe every parent should have the opportunity to do the same. At Rocketship, we invite our parents to be a part of their child's learning journey. We show families how they can support learning at home, and we welcome them into our school community. This kind of partnership has a real impact on student achievement. Another thing I love is our approach to individualized learning. Our humanities block is 170 minutes long, giving us time for rich, targeted instruction. We run small groups every day, and we meet students exactly where they are, whether they are closing gaps or ready to accelerate. Every child is supported to reach their full potential. And even though our classrooms are structured and focused, they're also full of joy. As a teacher, I love bringing joy into my classroom. Now, as a leader, I get to help our teachers do the same. Rocket Ship schools are designed to serve high-need students, including English language learners and students from low-income backgrounds. That's why I believe Rocket Ship would be such a strong fit for Laverne and Smyrna. These communities are diverse, and our model can provide families with these resources and support the children need to succeed. We already see the demand because Rocket Ship Dream is so close to Rutherford County line. We regularly have families from this community reaching out to enroll. Sadly, we've had to turn them away because they live in the wrong county. That's hard for us and even harder for the families. And although we did have some to attend our school our first year, we had to turn them away our second year. So tonight, I ask you vote yes on Rocket Ship Charter School application because our community deserves this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Dr. Courtney Covington.
Right. Good evening. My name is Dr. Courtney Covington. I'm a proud resident here in Laverne in Rutherford County for nearly over past 3 years. It's a growing, vibrant community with new restaurants, new families coming in, and without a doubt, there's a need for a high-quality school. There's no question we need more effective, student-centered options. I know families who are driving across county to find a great school to meet their child's needs. Rocket Ship can be that school, right there in their community, not far away. That's where we're proposing a neighborhood school built to support, uplift the children and families in Smyrna and Laverne. This is my 7th year in education, and I've been with Rocket Ship for 4 years. I've joined Rocket Ship as a founding first grade teacher and have had the passion and continued support through these years, and not just focus on academics, but also the holistic child, but their behavior and mental health as well. At Rocket Ship, I started a gentleman's group, a mentoring circle for young men who have been flagged through our different behavior screenings for extra support. We worked on confidence, we've worked on kindness, hygiene, extra, whatever things that they needed that was designated for that child. I feel good about knowing that I have started them off with something like this to carry them on. As a male educator, I know that's rare for young men, especially boys of color, to have a male teacher at an elementary level. Most have to wait until middle or high school, and of course, they're probably their coach. It's often not every day they even see a male at home as well. I didn't have a male teacher growing up either until PE, and eventually a principal. My parents were amazing, but they worked very long hours to provide for our family. That's the story for many of our students, too. Sometimes you just need a role model to talk to, and this group was just that for them. We met week after week, breakfast over breakfast, sometimes even going out of my pocket to provide these things for my students, and it worked. I've seen real improvements, including fewer behavior incidents. The boys were excited to come to school. That's the kind of work we're doing at Rocket Ship, and that's the kind of impact we could bring to Rutherford County if given the chance. I respectfully ask for you to vote yes on Rocket Ship application. Let's give more families access to the kind of school that meets them where they are, and it lifts them to where they want to go. Thank you.
Thank you. That is the end of our public comment time. Next, we go to number 7, federal funding updates.
So we discussed our federal funding updates and kind of where we are. I asked Dr. Golian to be here just to kind of reiterate where we are. We met with principals today and discussed, and again, the sky is not falling. We're in good shape compared to everybody else, and thanks to Dr. Golian's leadership, but he's here to answer any questions and give a quick synopsis again, too.
Yes, sir. So fortunately, and I know you guys discussed it a little bit on Tuesday night, but our kind of 3 largest federal funds, Title I, CTE, and then IDEA, those 3 areas seem to be safe at the current moment. So we're looking at 2, 3, and 4, and then within the last couple of weeks, we found out that we did not receive the 3-year grant of McKinney-Vento. So that's the big concern, but what you guys are going to be voting on here in just a moment is we've done a really great job under your guidance and your help over the last few years of being able to shift a lot of our federally funded staff members over to GP funded. So there's a few more that are left that will be able to do this. There may be an opportunity. The fiscal year at the federal level starts October 1. A lot of times we operate, of course, at July 1 date, but October 1, there may be an opportunity to receive some of this funding back. So we'll keep you posted as we find out that information. I talked to the principals this morning, like Dr. Sullivan mentioned. I know our goal, and especially my goal moving forward, we currently have 29 of our 52 schools who are Title I eligible, meaning they have more than 40% of their student population qualifying for free or reduced lunch. So my hope in the future is to continue to gain schools. Supposed to find out by tomorrow afternoon what our Title I allocation is. We have been notified by USAID that Tennessee is getting the largest increase of all 50 states for Title I. So hopefully that will mean good news to Rutherford County schools. But at the current moment, Title II, III, and IV are frozen. We did find out about McKinney-Vento, and that adds up to about $2.5 million for our school district.
Yes, Dr. Sullivan.
We discussed this on Tuesday night, but also I think the McKinney-Vento was the one that surprised us the most. And I mentioned that the only time it was discussed was during office hours. Can you reiterate that it wasn't in commissioners' updates, kind of caught all districts by surprise?
Correct. And of course, Ms. Johnson serves as our Atlas specialist. She's done a fantastic job of creating partnerships within the community. It's a 3-year competitive grant. The State Department did change the rubric this year. She did attend the office hours that the state provided, but a lot of times there wasn't any information. They were just there to answer questions. And if there was no questions asked, it was just dead air. So that was a lot of the information that she got, which was very little. But she did write the application. To our knowledge, several school districts did not receive this grant again, including us. And then there were several districts across the state that were cut. The only explanation that we got from TDOE is that there were several other districts that applied for this that had not previously, and I think there was less funding available.
Yes, Mr. Tidwell.
Yeah, I concur. Ms. Johnson is doing a great job over there. The $228,000 in the work session, is that each year or is that?
Yes, sir. I went back the last 11 years. We started out probably about $110,000, but each year we've actually increased. This past year we were $273,000. Yeah.
And there's no way, for the next 3 years, there's no way to reapply for that?
I talked to the assistant commissioner by phone. This was last week early, and she said no, there was no appeal, there was no revision that would be allowed. So at the current moment, that's what we know.
Yes, Dr. Sullivan.
I think directors are talking to legislators across the state about this process. So that would be perfectly fine for us to talk to as board members. If you all want to talk to legislators about it too, that'd be completely appropriate.
Yeah, because this is the first time it's been competitive.
Correct. I was shocked that homelessness became competitive.
Wow.
I don't know another way to say it. I'm not trying to be.
And my comment to our assistant commissioner was, I thought this funding was available for homeless and displaced students, not on how well you write an application. With all of our other federal funds, we're allowed to do revisions and resubmit, but with this one being a competitive, the answer was no.
Yes, Ms. Sharp.
I'm just going to restate what I said Tuesday night again because there was like nobody here in the audience.
Yes,
Ms. Johnson is often the safety net between a lot of our kids and homelessness. And I know that she was called in on a situation where there's a domestic violence earlier this year and it was in the news. And basically both parents were essentially gone. It was a murder-suicide. And we don't really think about our school handling situations like that.
Right.
So she sees some of the worst of the worst, but she also gets in there and takes care of business. And I wouldn't normally say, let's fund a payroll out of that's reoccurring.
Right.
But I do believe that this is one exception to the rule, so I move to approve.
Yeah, and that was a comment that we made to the principals today. So many times in education, there's a lot of unfunded mandates, and that's one of these issues here. we talked to the principals about we're still going to have homeless and displaced students. We're still under the McKinney-Vento law, so we still have to abide by that. We're just not receiving that funding for this upcoming year.
I second her motion. She moved to approve.
Okay, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Gould. Next, we have number 2.
All right, next we have the request to move 6 Title III positions to general purpose school funds from Fund 142 due to the freeze of Title III funds currently impacting districts across the nation. These positions are vital to our operations and academic success. Additional funding is not needed as funds realized from 3 open ESL teaching positions that are no longer needed will be utilized. These positions are no longer needed, the teaching positions, due to academic success experienced by our students and teachers requiring less ESL staff, and we talked about the number of students we have exiting on Tuesday.
And I want to commend Megan Turnbow, who is the head of our ELL system, and all of our many ELL teachers across the district that have done a sensational job. You don't get thanked enough, so thank you. Kudos.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have instruction and rocket ship.
So next we have Rocket Ship Tennessee number 4's application. Dr. McCann, are you here? I think Mr. Reed, you probably have the resolutions as well because these have to be voted on by resolution. And if you have questions, Dr. McCann's here as well.
You had the presentation at the work session on Tuesday, so you've got 2 charter school applications before you tonight. You do have to vote by resolution whether you want to approve them or not. If you approve them, we vote to approve the application. If you do deny the application, you have to state the reasons for the denial. You can't say we vote to deny this based on the conclusions of the committee report. If you choose to do that, if there's other reasons that you want to base the denial on, you would need to state those in your motion tonight.
Any comments or questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Ms. Maxwell.
Tittle.
Yeah, I have a comment. So, unfortunately, I was not able to be at the work session this Tuesday, so I didn't get to ask some of my questions, but I did watch and able to gather some information here. There was a few things I wanted to go over, specifically with Rocket Ship. I am for school choice, so that's always been a platform thing for me. But I look at each school individually. It's not just a carpet decision. For Rocket Ship specifically, there was a mention they've been rejected by Metro Nashville Public Schools. I may not be 100% correct on this, but from the research that I've found so far, the last 4 years, Metro has denied anybody that's applied at the charter. So I don't think that should be part of this denial recommendation. I'd also like to point out the funding impact. So I definitely have issue with this. I brought it up before. We've debated it here many times, but I just want to bring it up again since it was listed as part of the recommendation for denial. The funding impact, they're talking about $2 million the first year, $6 million. I don't know if I had the numbers here for Rocket Ship. I think that was for Novus. But I'd just like to point out the same needs context, which is this is the amount given for students that are educated. Rutherford County Schools would not be educating these students, nor having to pay for extra facilities to hold these students. That means no new school costs. Overcapacity classrooms are not continuing to fill up. District-wide rezone was something we just did to address that, so clearly it's a continuing issue. And one can't argue that growth doesn't pay for itself and then portray funding for students we are not educating as a funding loss. We have debated this many times about the funding stuff, so I won't go into much more on that. But I do want to point out some of the other positives for Rocket Ship specifically, which is these things were mentioned as well. Their authorizers had great things to say about them and said that they were one of the better charter schools. They have a great finance history. They have no debt. They have cash on hand. And at the end of year 5, and I'm quoting directly from the work session, they'd have 30 days of operating funds at the end of year 5. I think that's pretty good. When I'm looking at charter schools specifically for me, so you're hearing my opinion. When I'm looking at charter schools, I'm looking at readiness and whether there is a demand there and how that fits in with the growth that we're having here. So I do think that there are individuals that will fill up the Rocket Ship School. As far as their academics, I know that was mentioned as well, but Rocket Ship Dream achieved stronger results than most of the RCS elementary schools in the Smyrna-Laverne area, serving a larger population of high-need students. Rocket Ship Dream outperformed 6 of 10 Rutherford County elementary schools in the Smyrna-Laverne area. So I guess my point here is we have to put everything in context. And for me, I feel like, while no school is perfect, and while they didn't pass every single thing, I'm not sure that every school that we have would pass everything on if they had to go through a charter application. There's no perfect school. Are they ready? I think that they financially are probably the most ready of the ones that we have had. Their academic record is pretty solid. And so for that, I make a recommendation that we do approve Rocket Ship.
Ms. Maxwell?
Ms. Short? Yes, Mr. Salas.
I think that this was a hard decision with 2 charter schools all at once. Rocket Ship, I visited Rocket Ship. It's a beautiful school. I do think that they have something special with their parents and the dynamics. I think they will provide something unique. But I also have to consider that I was part of the committee as well. And the committee really took this very seriously and was very, very thorough. And they had a robust conversation. They had positive things to say. But unfortunately, the committee came to the conclusion to not recommend. And considering how all of this works, once we become the authorizer, whatever it's on the application is what becomes part of our contract. And right now, I believe there's just a couple things that need to be addressed and be brought back before the committee to review, because there are some discrepancies within the instruction of RCS and with RCS. I think that, again, I am for parental choice. I believe parents should have the decision to make what's best for their child in terms of education, but I also understand that we only have one shot to get this right, to make it right, because of the experience that we're having. And we're getting ready to have to make some waivers and make make changes with another charter school. And I know that not a single charter school or traditional school or private school will ever be perfect. I do agree that on the financial standpoint, they will be the best. They have a better footing for it. But because of those discrepancies between RCS and Rocket Ship, I feel that it behooves us to allow Rocket Ship, now that they see what their differences are, to make those changes and elaborate on those.
Mr. Vaughn.
Yes, ma'am. My responsibility, I was elected to support the Rutherford County schools. Irregardless of the finances and the dog and pony show and all, the thing that I've got to support the committee, Dr. McCann and the committee and what they did. And, we have high-performing schools here in Rutherford County. I cannot, in good faith, and I don't think it's fair to other schools, to bring in schools that don't perform at the level that we have. I think it's unfair that I can't in good conscience approve any school that's not going not equal to what we have already. And I'm not going to bring any in that I think may the track record could bring us down. And the committee was so thorough and very thorough. And when they can't recommend, there were reasons for that. And again, if we're not going to support that, and we're not going to support our committee, then we're wasting their time. And I've just got an obligation to our schools to, I'm not going to prove anybody that's not equal to or greater than what we have already.
Anyone else like to comment? Okay, the motion? Yes, Ms. Tidwell.
I'd like to make one last comment. If you think, just to put this in the back of your mind as well, if you think that this is going to get approved at the state level, so irregardless of everyone's feelings about charters in general, if you think it will get approved at the state level, then they will still be in our backyard. They will still be in our county, except we will have no partnership with them. So that's what we had with one of the charter schools that's already been approved. That has not been a great relationship. It would be better if, that's just another point, if you think they're going to get approved at the state level, then having a partnership with them is certainly more beneficial than not. So.
Yes, Mr. Vaughn.
I agree with what Mr. Stibble said, except the fact that if we approve them, it's on us. If the state approves them, it's on them. And I can't get faith to be responsible for a school that I just don't feel like is going to support and be as effective as what we have now. I think it'd be unfair to our schools.
Okay.
Ms. Maxwell?
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay, I just want to clarify that what I'm saying is not because I'm thinking they're going to go straight to the state and they're going to get approved. I do believe they will make a great partner. I do believe that they provide something very unique to the county that will serve our students. The reasons where I'm coming from is just the discrepancies that there are in the application. And because of the experience that we've had with the other two charter schools, and we're getting ready to have to make some exceptions with one of the charter schools based upon what was on the application. And because of that, as an authorizer, I want to give them opportunity to make those changes so that RCS understands what their intent is, because the question was that the intent was not understood. And I want to be a good partner and honor the committee that represented many years of expertise and knowledge. But again, I believe this school will make a great addition to Rutherford County Schools.
Okay. Any other comments? We have a motion on the floor.
Yes, I've got one.
Yes, Mr. Vaughn, I thought you might.
Well, I'm sorry. Because me being you, I really don't have my arms around charter schools. And I don't know if this comes from Dr. Sullivan or Dr. Can, either one. But okay, we authorize it or the state authorizes it. What happens? Where's the difference there?
I think there's a couple. First is funding, although all funding now is going to go straight from the state to the charter schools. That's going to be different. We haven't seen that in actuality yet, but the state law changed.
But that did change this year, so they get direct funding, not through us.
State funding, not local, and so our finance department's still going to be involved in that. The other aspect of it is performance. Just as a director, it's extremely difficult for our district, and me, I'm responsible for our performance, to have no oversight, yet that's on our state report card. Of course, that's something that's up to the board. I respect the board's decision, but that's a unique part, that if it's approved by the Charter Commission, it is the Charter Commission's its own district. If our board approves it, then it is listed under Rutherford County Schools performance.
So their test scores will be included in ours, but if the state sanctions it, they're on the state then.
Yep.
So there's the difference.
Yep.
Okay. But because all right, let me ask this question then. And I don't wish anybody any bad luck, so don't y'all read anything into my comments, but let's say either, funding doesn't play out, somebody embezzles some money or whatever, I don't know. I don't mean to talk bad about somebody, but 4 years from now, these kids have got to find a home. Their test scores come back and are reflective of us, probably.
If we're the authorizer, they always are under the county.
But if those schools close in 4 years, 5 years,
students will come back, hopefully.
The students will come back. Will their test scores come back?
The test scores will follow the student.
They never
score.
That's what I was trying to get back to. Okay, thank y'all.
Okay. Anyone else? We have a motion on the floor, recommend to approve rocket ship application. Could we do a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Rosales?
No.
Mr. Vaughn?
No.
Mr. Tidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Vaught? Mrs. Darby?
Yes.
Mrs. Maxwell?
No.
It's split.
Where's Mr. Reed at?
So,
Yep. Where's Mr. Reed go? I don't
yeah,
see him.
Mr. Reed? Do we need to,
It did not pass. I mean,
Did not
if you-
pass.
If someone wants to make a motion to deny, you can make a motion to deny, but you have to state the reasons why you deny, which could be the committee report or some other reason that the board believes that the application should not be approved. You do have to get a majority vote to take action one way or the other.
anybody want to make a motion?
I make the motion to deny the rocket ship based on the committee's report to give time for rocket ship to make changes.
Do I have a second?
And if they want to apply again, they can. If they like to choose to do so.
So then the question I've got is that if we deny it, they can still appeal to the state, right?
They could, or
yeah.
they can submit to us again as
Okay.
well.
Do I have a second?
You'd have to wait till next year.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. So we have a motion on the floor to deny. Could we have a roll call vote, please? Motion is to deny.
Ms. Sharp?
No.
Mr. Vaught?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Tidwell?
No.
Mrs. Darby?
No.
Mrs. Maxwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next up, we have Novus Smart Academy. Someone like to make a motion, please?
Ms. Maxwell?
Yes. Ms.
Okay,
Gonzalez.
so again, I was on this committee as well. Again, the committee went through very thorough. Again, they said positive things about it, both schools really. But I think the major concern with this one, outside of the recommendations, was just the funding. But Dr. Sanger has said that they will do whatever possible to get the funding of what they need to for the startup cost. The unique position that they're in is that they're going to be a K through 8, so that's different. And so for that, I'm going to move to approve the school.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp.
What's your motion?
To approve the school, to approve the charter application.
Do we have any more comments or questions regarding this? We have a motion to approve Novus Smart Academy.
Ms. Maxwell,
Mr. Tidwell.
Mr. McCann or Dr. McCann, Dr. Sullivan know who this is for, but why did the state deny them last year?
Dr. McCann probably be the best person to answer that one.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. McCann.
The state denied their appeal last year for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're thin financial margins. And number two, they felt it was a great deal of responsibility to place on a relative few number of people to start up the school. And I will have to say that they've made improvements in both areas this year when they came back.
Yes.
What was the committee's recommendation last year?
It was, we recommended they be approved, but the board denied them due to financial impact, which the state charter commission did not agree with.
Okay. Yes, Mr.
I also want to point out there's a different committee every single year, so it would not be
Right.
abnormal
Different
for a
people.
different committee to find.
Yeah.
Different eyeballs, different thoughts.
Any other comments or questions? Yes, Mr. Tidwell.
You know, as I was looking at the budget for this one, it says because they lost the new school venture fund grant, which how much was that?
It was $250,000 in their initial year zero budget line.
What does that leave them at the end of the first year?
I don't remember the figure off the top of my head, but their facilities renovation budget, they increased $850,000 before the loss of that, which would have brought it down to $550,000. But whereas before, I think their initial application, if I remember correctly, it was only like $500,000, and they bumped it up to $850,000. But now they've lost that new school venture fund, but it's still a little higher than what it was initially. But again, like Ms. Rosales said, that Dr. Sager's committed to raising the funds, to doing whatever's necessary to do that.
Yes, Mr. Vaughn.
Again, the committee did a very thorough job. And, if we can't support the committee, I don't know why we're putting them through all this work. I mean, the criteria for being approved is pretty stringent. It's very thorough. And it's, I think, to be only fair to our existing schools. These people, they just didn't, for lack of better words, it didn't make the cut because this criteria that we gathered was formulated by people outside of us, and they just didn't qualify. And it showed them areas that need to improve on, and if they do that, they can come back at a later date and reapply. But as of right now, the committee didn't approve them, and I have to support our committee.
Yes, Ms. Sharp.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So both of these schools are in my area. And it's not a secret that we're overcrowded on the north end. It's not a secret. There's 11,000+ permits that have been pulled from Waldron Road to Sam Ridley, and they're filling in those houses every day. When we authorize a charter school under Rutherford County Schools, we do not have to pay to build that building. Y'all know we're paying $160 million to build a building. We cannot tax our seniors and our residents of this county enough to build the schools that we need. We have two companies and other companies that have come in here, businesses, whatever you want to call them. They come in here and put skin in the game. They're either buying the building or they're leasing the building. And that's something that we as taxpayers don't have to do. It just makes financial sense for our county to support something like this. Now, are those students going to come back to our school after the 5th or 6th grade if they're in that grade band that they haven't risen to the level of the students? Yes. And those students that are going to these schools, they're taxpayers as well. The parents should have the choice to do this, and we should look at this as a fiscal responsibility and not have to pay to build a $160 million school or build all the annexes. Y'all, the rush is coming. I mean, our numbers have slowed slightly, but we're going to be in trouble. The only school that's on the north end that is not overcrowded, that doesn't have portables outside lined up and down the driveway is Cedar Grove. And it's coming. So that's this is my area, and this is one of the reasons that I've been supportive of the charter schools coming in here. So there's more things to think about other than we can't support them because it's not a Rutherford County school. If we approve them, it is a Rutherford County school. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Vaughn.
The thing about it is it's more than finances. I think a parent would be willing to pay taxes if the kid got a good education. If these kids go to these schools and being taught by non-certified teachers, which is going to be the case in most of them, it'd be taught on waivers. And those kids aren't educated. They come back to our school system. Where are they going to be? They're going to be struggling and behind. And, our job is to prepare them for the workforce in Rutherford County. And we've got to give them a good education. And again, the criteria that the committee used evaluated their performance based on what they've done and what they projected to do. And again, that, I'm just looking at it from the education of the kids. I'm not looking at it from the finances part of it. If that's the case, we'll just put up circus tents around every community and teach them that way. And so I don't think finances I think parents would rather have their kids educated as to not pay a little more taxes.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Darby.
I think we have to be cognizant that education looks different for different families and among students. I myself know a few families who have gone to some of our new charter schools who have had a phenomenal experience. Not all students thrive in the size schools that we tend to have, partially because of our growth. Some of them need that smaller environment. So I don't think it's fair to get out here and blast them and say because their charters at the education level isn't the same. I think that remains to be seen as they grow. I know my idea of what I think would work for my kids is going to be different from someone else's idea of what's going to work for their children. And it's my job to try to be open to what our community wants, not just what I want for my own kids. So I have approved charter schools that go about education in a way that I don't think would fit my kids, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work for someone else's child. With that being said, I do have to say, I think both of the charters have done a good job of responding to what our committees asked them to. I think it kind of proves a little bit of a point that last year the committee approved Novus, and this year they're denying them even though they made improvements on the application. So that right there shows you how subjective it can be depending on who's looking at it. I think with our overcrowding, and to Ms. Sharp's point financially, it is a good way to relieve some of the overcrowding in some of our schools. It is a good way to provide a different style of education for those students that are needing that. So I'm in favor of this motion.
Okay.
Just a reminder, 80% of the people that were opposed charter schools. So
okay.
Just a reminder in case everybody's wondering about getting reelected.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I would just like to state that those surveys were like 600 people out of a county of over 50,000 students. It was a very small portion of people that even responded to that survey, which is part of the problem, quite honestly, that we as elected officials deal with. We don't hear from enough of our community about what they're looking for and what they want. So please tell your friends and neighbors to start communicating with their elected officials.
Good point. Good point. So do we have a motion?
Yeah, Dr. McCann, I got another question. Sorry. You had mentioned, I found the figures from the other night. You said that'd be in the red, $45,000 the first year. That's what was said.
That's if they don't increase their funding after the loss of that New Schools Ventures Fund.
Okay. Do you feel like they are in a better financial position than they were the prior year then?
I do, because they've increased their initial year's enrollment. They've doubled the number of kids basically that they're going to start with, and that was a big part of the reason why I think they got denied by the state last year, because their very small number of students to start with was not going to provide a tremendous amount of funding.
Okay,
So
yeah,
they came back and it basically just doubled their enrollment projections.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that would be a little bit of a hesitation there for the amount of students. Okay, that's information I need. Okay. My other question is for Ms. Rosales. So you had denied rocket ship because you had sat on the committee and you had said that you really invested in it. They really took their time. I believe they did the same amount of time work with Novus and they recommended denial. I'm just wondering what the difference in between the two.
Sure. So there's some differences in the rocket ship application with what RCS says and what rocket ship says, rebutted or whatever you want to call it. So we all got an email recently about a fact sheet that was rebutting all of the comments that were made in the application, including comments that Dr. McCann has said. And I really appreciate Rocketship bringing that to our attention and trying to explain their intent. However, that information was not provided in the application itself. So when the committee is reviewing information, they can only review by what's in the application. So when there's quite a bit of discrepancies like that, I believe it behooves us to allow Rocketship, and in good faith, because I do support your school. I think this school will be a great addition to our county, but it behooves us to allow them to allow Rutherford County Committee to read those comments and to weigh it in. And if they come back as denial, well, then that's up to us to figure out. But we allow Rocketship to better give explanations of why their model is a little bit different, so that in the event something were to go awry, Rutherford County Schools are the ones who are going to be held responsible for that. If there's a waiver for whatever reason, we will understand what all these implications are. That's the reason behind.
Why'd you support the committee on one decision, not the other?
Well, Mr. Vaughn, as an elected board member, I ran on parental school choice to allow parents to make a decision. I have not deviated from that. And like other board members are saying, this is based on a case-by-case application, and every school is different. I denied Novus last time because of concerns of financial reasons, but then the state said that wasn't why they denied it. It was totally different. But then Novus came back to us and then made changes to the application. Really, the biggest hurdle that the committee had was the financing on the startup costs. If we approve the school to be allowed in our county, it'll be up to them to figure the startup costs. We're a capital system, and they're able to it's a free market, and figure that out. And I'm not holding Nova's hand when it comes to the startup costs. So I hope I'd explained that, and that's why.
Committee denied?
I'm sorry? The committee approved Novus last year.
Not this year?
But they did not this year because of the startup cost.
Yeah,
Well, that was largely the main reason why. They were hesitant about approving that.
I don't see why you supported one and not the other. That's what I'm...
Madam Chair, I call the question.
Yes, Ms. Stark, yes. Let's end discussion. We have a motion on the floor. Okay. Can we have a roll call, please? And would you repeat the motion? Is to recommend Novus Smart Academy.
Yes. All right. Mrs. Darby?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Vaught?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
No.
Mr. Tidwell?
For financial reasons, no.
Ms. Sharp?
Yes.
And Mrs. Maxwell?
No.
Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have number 3, Curriculum and Instruction CTE Department.
Next, you have Curriculum Instruction CTE Department likes to allocate approximately $9,000 of the ISM grant funds for 25-26 to support OSHA trainers for our high school CTE students. The purpose of this in-house OSHA trainers is to eliminate barriers for students obtaining OSHA TDOE-approved industry certifications. The OSHA trainers will be responsible for completing the OSHA Train the Trainer course set for July 2025. You'll see each participant receives a $500 stipend, and we are recommending approval.
Any comments or questions? Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Thank you, Ms. Darby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, number 4.
This is the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation book delivery and caregiver engagement programs. And so we discussed this on Tuesday night. This requested item is to support implementation that allows RCS to share student names, grade levels, home addresses, media specialist names, and appropriate teacher names with GELF, G-E-L-F.
Any comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion. Thank you, Mr. Ball.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Darby. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next.
This is the Carl D. Perkins Basic Grant. As Dr. Gogian mentioned, this was one that is not frozen currently. The Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Act of 2018, known as Perkins 5, is presented for approval for the funding period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The grant is $754,876.90, and it provides funding for program improvement, equipment, travel, staff development for our career and technical education teachers.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next.
Next is the reserve grant. This is a competitive portion. Carl D. Perkins Reserve Grant is presented for approval for the funding period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This competitive grant is $50,000, and the reserve grant will provide funding for the welding booth training simulator for the agricultural mechanic CTE program study at Riverdale High School.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next is special education. We have a couple job description updates. Special education board is requesting an updated job description for speech language pathologist position to provide more clarity to the job description. The proposed job description does not contain a change in pay scale or days in the contract.
I entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Ms.
Second.
Shaw. Thank Darby, rather. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next.
Special Education Department is requesting an updated job description for the General Education Student Service Specialist position to provide more clarity to the job description. Again, this proposed job description does not contain a change in pay scale or days in contract.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Ms. Darby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Moving to Human Resources, RCS Athletics and Coordinated School Health are partnering with Perry Weather to monitor weather conditions in the district and make sure we stay compliant with state safety guidelines. Perry Weather's on-site stations provide precise lightning, precipitation, wind, and air quality data, updating every 5 minutes in the mobile app and the dashboard. Recommended motions to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Is there a cost with this?
There is, it was in our budget last year. It's over $100,000 because of the installation of the weather stations at each site.
Okay. Mr. Vaughn made a motion to, do we have a second? Oh, thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, legal.
First, we have 25-26 approved fees per policy 6.709. Prior to the beginning of each school year, the board, upon the recommendation of principals and director of school, shall approve all student fees for the upcoming school year. Additional fees may be approved during the year as presented. Recommended motions to approve as presented.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
And I want to point out just real quick on that one, the big change was if a fan is, or a student, parent, somebody is ejected by TSSAA, then the fine will be assessed to them and not to the school. So that is
Good.
making sure people understand that behavior, if an official ejects you, then that fine gets levied to the school, and we in turn are going to levy that to the student and to the parent.
That's excellent.
Could you repeat that? We couldn't hear you then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if someone is ejected by an official with TSSAA, and that fine is levied to the school, in turn the school is going to then levy that to the parent or to the student that's ejected.
If a coach is ejected, is it on the coach?
Yes, it is. Next, we have records clerk job description. Legal department is requesting the approval of a new job description for the 25-26 school year. New position will assist the legal department with managing and fulfilling student, staff, and administrative records requests.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Mr. Tidwell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next.
Next is campus school agreement. MTSU has renewed the agreement between RCS and MTSU regarding campus school. This agreement will be in effect for 5 years.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have policy adoption, first and final reading. And so we have 2 requests of policies that we would like to go ahead and read on first reading and pass tonight. So you will see on the back page of that the recommended approvals of 2 motions. First, the board is being asked to entertain to suspend board policy 1.600 to specifically waive the 2 readings requirement for the above policies as presented. And if that passes, we'll come back and discuss the 2.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
All right, first we have policy 3.400, student transportation management. This revises language for awarding and renewing contracts and updates language consistent with the current contract.
Move for approval.
Yes.
Second.
Thank you, okay.
Yeah.
First,
I mean, we
Ms.
need discussion.
First, Ms. Sharp, and then Ms. Darby.
Okay, so I had several people email about, on page 6 of 7, line 33, the 10 contracts. I do believe we might be cutting our nose off to spite our face, because I know we've grandfathered some in, but I think this needs to be at least 20 or more, or no limit on the contracts. Because we could end up like Davidson County and some of the other surrounding counties that have limits on their contracts, and they have double-digit bus routes that are not being filled.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
my
Ms.
question pertains to that if Ms. Sharp would allow me to ask Mr. Reed.
Sure.
I guess my question on this is typically when we go into policy, it's, for the board to set policy and then for us to have procedures by the director of schools. My biggest question on this is why is this not part of the actual contract? I'm just going to be honest, it doesn't feel good to me that we spent all this time on a contract and went back and forth and did all of this stuff, agreed on a contract, and now we're sitting at the policy table putting something in place that to me feels like it should have been part of the discussion and contract with our contractors.
Yeah.
You speak to like
Well,
whether this should really be in that
The contract's been
contract?
negotiated, so we've got contracts signed with contractors already.
Correct, and this was not part of it. And so now we're coming to the table after it was agreed upon.
I think it's from a school system standpoint, they're looking for a mechanism to control the award of how bus routes are awarded, to deal with kind of concerns that they have with respect to too high of a concentration of buses in the hands of one or a handful of contractors. So though from a system level, I think that's what's driving the policy that they've been requesting the board to adopt. Now, and I heard the statement about 20 buses. This just came up at policy committee meeting this week, so it's relatively new. I do want to point out the language here here is a little bit different than what we talked about on Monday, because it started out to be a limitation in the policy to no more than 20 contracts, what the initial draft was. There was discussion in the policy committee. It got reduced to maybe a discussion of maybe 10 routes, 10 count contracts. And the grandfathering came up because we do have people who have more than 10 routes
Because
now.
it would be against the contract at this point, correct?
Well, what the language I have plugged in here is for contractors, and so if you have a current contract and you have.
No, I know about the language here, but part of the reason we changed this language was because it would be in violation of their contract.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
so
correct.
I'm just going to talk to the board. I think that doing this now is a mistake. I think it makes the board look like we negotiated a contract and now after the fact, we're trying to change something. If this is something that the board and transportation want to do, then this is something that should be talked about when the contract comes up for negotiation in the next round. Personally, I did speak with transportation as well. I think it would be different if we had more routes than we had drivers, because then you are running into the issue of maybe some monopolizing or getting more than others. To my knowledge, we're not in that space. And I would recommend that this be stricken and it can be addressed when the contract is brought back up for renewal. I think it's really misleading. I don't think it makes us look good to spend all that time negotiating a contract and then come back with something like this.
Mr. Reed, the contract is not up until four more years, right?
Correct. I mean, the way this, I do want the board to know what this says. So let me read this section because this was discussed just Monday night, a policy, and so it's a pretty recent development. But what this says now in this draft that you have, and this can be changed as the board decides if you decide to change it or propose something different or not do it altogether. So if you don't want to do this provision, we don't have to have that provision in this policy. But what this says is no contractor shall have more than 10 contracts during any school year unless specifically approved by the board when unfilled routes exist. Any contractors holding more than 10 routes shall be grandfathered and be allowed to continue their routes through the 2028-29 school year. That's the current contract we have. No contractor with more than 10 routes shall be eligible for new routes unless expressly approved by the board. For purposes of determining the number of routes assigned to a contractor, any partnerships, corporations, limited liability companies, or other entities which have any common principal owners shall be considered a single contractor. So that is there to basically say if you're a contractor, you can't form XYZ Corporation 1, XYZ Corporation 2, XYZ Corporation 3, and say those are all three different entities and are entitled to 50 contracts. So the spirit of this is to support the small business owner and to support people or kind of family-owned buses. So I think the purpose of this is to support that because that's been the backbone of our transportation department for decades. And I think to the extent we can allow that to continue and foster that from a system level, that's something the system wants to do. So, this, and whether it be 10 contracts or 20 contracts, it's up for the board to debate and determine. But just so you know what language is in here, is currently, you can't have any more than 10 contracts, but that really doesn't kick in until the next contract term, the way this thing reads. Because for the existing contract term, whatever contracts have been signed already, and if someone has 12 routes or 15 routes or whatever they have, that's what they have because those contracts have already been approved.
That's the intent of the policy committee the other night was that.
So that's what this says. What the board wants to do with it is up to the board to decide whether you want to limit it to 10, 20,
I'd like to
or
say-
not have this
okay.
in here altogether. You don't have to have that section in this.
I'll get-
I do want to make sure Mr. Lee can voice what he needs to have done for this board tonight because he has he thinks he'll have 5 unfilled routes that he's going to have to be able to do something about. So that's the kind of one of the pressing things to get this policy done tonight for. But Mr. Lee, could you address that?
In the past, there was a 6-route limit prior to our last contract. That, however many it was part of policy. The policy was created as a mechanism on how we do business. The contract is the contract, and it's been this way. This policy and the contract have always been there. We have never had a problem with our existing contractors taking the routes. The problem with the current policy is if you go to page 4 of 7, the only way a new contract can be issued is you have to drive for Rutherford County for 2 years. So if you're a contractor in Metro or wherever and we do not have enough contractors to cover our routes, we have no mechanism to allow us to bring in an outside contractor. That has not driven for us. That's what started this process, is a way to allow a contractor or someone who wants to become a contractor that's driven in another county an opportunity to get in. Now, and I think we discussed all the how we got there and all that kind of stuff. The limitation on the numbers, we currently, and I sent this to you all earlier, we currently have 4 contractors that have more than 10. That's it. Everybody, the vast majority have 1. The others have 2, 3, 4. So whether it's 10 or 15 is not going to affect 95% of our contractors. It's only going to affect a few. So that number for me, I have a personal opinion, but whatever it is what y'all decide.
I'll make the motion.
The problem is if we don't do something and these 5 routes continue to sit there, I have no mechanism to fill them if our people don't want them.
Can I?
Okay, yes, Ms. Sharp was first, and then Ms. Darby.
Well, but this on page 6, line 33 to 39, that doesn't even kick in until this current contract is up. That doesn't have anything to do with you filling routes this week.
And I told Mr. Reed prior to the meeting, that doesn't work for me. It needs to be now. This language needs to be from 25, 26 through the 29 contract. And I don't know that it needs any time frame in it. If we make it part of the policy, you just take the time frame out and it goes
In effect.
in effect, and it goes through the next contract and the next contract until we decide that somebody decides they want to change it.
I'll go back to my original point. I'm 61 years old. We just lost 3 or 4 people today, famous people. Those bus drivers, the bus drivers, we're not getting any younger. And we cannot limit ourselves on this. This is going to cut our nose off to spite our face.
Sorry. And then I've got Mr. Vaughn, and then I've got Mr. Vaughn. I've got you.
I guess I'm not really even understanding what's going on right now, because Mr. Lee is saying he can't have it the way it's written. He needs it to take effect now. My understanding is if we tried to make this take effect now, it would be in breach of contract. Is that not correct?
If we have signed contracts with people who have more than 10 buses, we're bound by those contracts for the next 4 years. So for the routes that we have signed. If there are new routes, I don't think the new routes are really effective with the language we have here, and they are controlled by the other language in this policy there. So, but for the contracts that have already been signed, they've been signed. They're in place for 4 years. And if someone has more than 10 buses under those contracts, there's no way you can't undo that without breaching the contract.
So I see what you're saying. I, too, am in favor. I don't know that any of the people that drive for us would really be considered not a small business. To my knowledge, I think they're all, or at least close to all, Rutherford County residents. I think we can probably address, by the way we award routes, making sure that our smaller contractors are getting that route first, almost like you go through. Let's just say we have 200 contractors. You go through and give everybody a route, and then you go back, and the people with 2 buses then get another one, and then the people with 3 then get another one, because not everybody wants to own 8 buses. Some people do, and I don't know why we care who does and who doesn't. We can control how we award them, making sure that the smaller people are taken care of first. I think that limiting how many buses someone has when we're in a position where we have more routes than drivers makes absolutely no sense to me at all. Because that's like saying, well, we still need more people to run routes, but we're not going to use you because for some reason 10 is the magic number and you have 10 buses, so now we can't give you, you have 12 buses, now we can't give you the routes we need covered because you got 10. Like, if there's no one else to drive it, who cares? I'm having trouble reconciling it. I think this should be stricken, and it can be addressed when the contract renews next year, and we can give whoever wants the next contract comes up in 4 years. We can give whatever contractors want the routes. If we need to address the driving 2 years for Rutherford County, I'm fine addressing that if it needs to be addressed. I don't know if that's part of the contract and if that's going to be an issue as well. Do you know, Mr. Reed?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The piece that Mr. Lee is talking about where it says they have to drive for Rutherford County for 2 years before they can be a contractor.
It's not part of the contract, it's part of policy.
Okay, so if we need to affect that in the policy to make life easier, if we need to allow people from other districts to come in, I think we can address that, but I don't think that has anything to do with the number of buses for our contractors.
Okay. Mr. Vaughn?
You know, I don't know, if we don't put a number on these things, if husband gets 20, wife gets 20, Bubba gets 20, and, before long, they got a monopoly and they can hold us hostage. And I want to protect the small business owner who drive for the right reasons. And I make a motion that we approve that just like it was written by the policy committee the other Monday night, it was an agreement by the entire policy committee. And I'll make a motion, we approve it as written and with 10 routes.
Second. Okay, now, Mr.
Already a
Vaughn.
motion and a second on the floor.
There was one.
Oh, there was one?
Mr. Vaught and Mr. Vaughn.
Yeah, we're good.
We
We're
already took care of
we're
it.
good with
You
the
wanted
motion.
to repeat
Good.
I
it.
appreciate
Is
it.
that what
Thank
you
you.
wanted to do?
Mr.
We
Vaughn,
want
you,
everybody to understand.
I'm going to yield to Caleb down there first.
okay, go ahead, Mr.
I'll
Tidwell.
have final thoughts here.
A couple different things. So when I was on the bus committee, the number one accusation that flies is favoritism. So I understand that, I mean, I obviously want to protect the mom and pops, but to make sure that we're taking care of them, I don't know what that would look like other than having something in policy so they're not accused of favoritism. Because that's what I heard all the time. When I got the phone on and they're calling me, they're saying, oh, well, they're giving them these routes and they're trying, it's all buddy, and because we're not buddy, they're not giving it to us. So we got to make sure there's no favoritism involved, which I think is why we should stick to policy. But I thought that we added this into the policy changes the other night. If we have open routes, I thought we had language there that Dr. Sullivan's at discretion to open those routes up to go past the 10 limit.
Actually comes to the board the way it's written.
Oh, it comes to the board. But there's an avenue for that to happen. So that's my thoughts on that. But the other thing that was here, I brought up the priority list thing and asked for a change on that. Now, it looks like the priority list just got gutted. I was thinking we could, work around some of the loopholes that people are trying to cut. Is there a new plan for what that would look like as far as the priority list? We used to have the 1, the 2, you got to drop for 2 years, all that stuff.
With this mirror images other counties that do business kind of sort of similar to us. It's the responsibility of the transportation department to review. And at that point, we would probably, if there's any discrepancy, you bring it to the board. But this makes it, I don't want to use the term less buddy or less manipulative.
Well,
than the priority 1, priority 2, priority 3.
I can certainly see the less, there wouldn't be a chance for a loophole if they don't have an avenue to work around. I get that. But that favoritism comment that I just made earlier that everybody complains about, that's going to be hot and heavy if there's not something in policy on a priority list.
Mr. Tidwell?
Yeah.
I've been in business a long time, and you're going to, no matter what you do, 70% of the people are not going to like it. I'm going to complain that somebody else is doing it. I mean, and it's been that way. I know you got phone calls. The other people are calling me, telling me the same thing. I get emails and calls from this driver's skirting this, and this driver's doing that, and you don't discipline this one, and you don't discipline that one. Every single one of them. And I'm sorry, they're listening tonight, and they can get over it. My whole point is, I'm going to follow the contract and the policy, and I don't care who you are.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I would just like to have
But
policy to
you're
lean on.
sitting here going, how do you guarantee that there's no favoritism? People are human. You can write every policy in the world. Somebody's not going to like it, and I don't know how to fix that.
I'm not saying you can get rid of it completely as an opinion. What I'm saying is that there was a loophole, clear loophole that we discussed. And that was taken out completely because there's no more priority list. However, that's only going to make it seem like there's more favoritism in general. I mean, it's an opinion, but at least you have a policy to point to when there's a discrepancy. So I don't know. I don't necessarily like not having a priority list, but that's me. So maybe I'll rethink that. Go ahead.
What about a lottery? I don't know. I'm just trying to think on the fly here. Since there's nothing, I agree. There probably needs to be something.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be something. Lottery is kind of more minimalistic, but it's possible. If you did the lottery system, then once you hit a route, then it just falls out to the next person. You can't recycle the lottery system every single time. I mean, that's something.
And we do that now. We have a computerized thing that everybody, like for the summer school routes, everybody that applies that is approved, their name gets put in the computer and it's a random draw.
I'm okay
We
with
could
that.
do a random draw, no different than that, which I'm fine with, because the way this policy is written, we're asking them to apply in the summer so that we know everybody that wants a route. We just put everybody's name in the computer, and then once you've gotten a route, till we go through, everybody gets a route, then everybody's name goes back in, and you start a drawing all over again.
I like that better.
Because, I mean, you get a route, then your name comes out of the hat because you've gotten a route. The problem becomes they want to pick their route. So if you want a route and your name comes up, whatever route that is, you're taking it. If you pass, then I think it's just like accepting your name comes out.
But wouldn't this be just for new routes? Like they're already
Yeah,
set
it's new
contracts,
routes.
so it don't be new routes.
They still have the opportunity in June per the contract. They still have the opportunity to swap. So if you got a route and you drove it for the rest of the year and you decided you didn't like it and you had a buddy on the other end of the county that wants your route and you want his, y'all can swap in June.
Yeah.
But you have to keep that route till that school year's over.
Yeah, and I think
I'm fine with the random draw. If you want to take favoritism out of it, everybody who applies goes in the hat and we draw. Everybody's got an equal opportunity. I'm fine with that.
And there'll be an all call after that, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, if nobody accepts the
Well, if
route.
you run through all the numbers,
Yeah, somebody's going to get an opportunity.
right. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to get an opportunity.
Okay.
We typically don't if you look at that list that's in the agenda tonight, there's 20, 25 people on it. We typically don't have 25 new routes.
Yeah.
We'll have 5 to 10, but throughout the year, you have people turn in routes. At the end of the year, 20, 25, maybe 30 at the most, for a year that either swap, get turned in, or get added. It's not a huge number.
And that's the way you're saying that our summer school program works, right?
Yes, we do it. We do a computerized random draw for summer school. We do the same thing for the power hour. You want it, you apply, you get approved, your name gets put in the hat, and we let the computer draw. And that's the order they go.
I think they need to throw horseshoes.
And I'm fine. That's the fairest
Yeah.
way. It takes it. If you've applied, you're on the list, and we let the computer make the draw.
Yeah, they still have some say as to whether or not they want the route because they can apply or not apply.
Yeah.
I say we mirror that. I'm okay if you
I'm
guys
fine with a complete random draw. Then there is no favoritism.
It can't be. If you guys are okay with an amendment once you get through the
I
discussion.
think that's completely fair. Gives everybody the same equal opportunity.
All right. Appreciate that.
And I'm willing with. I think that's a great way to do it. It works for the other two.
Sweet. Good.
Okay. Do you want to?
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I would accept that in the motion, that you make it completely right.
Can I just say this? I don't usually hear from a lot of the bus drivers, but I had a couple of calls, and the calls I got were, thank you for addressing this, because there has been some unfairness going on. So.
I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole just a little bit, and I'm fixing to tell y'all some things maybe you don't want to hear. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Sharp, it's 8 o'clock, but you're gonna listen. You don't have to listen. You can get your tail up and go out the door. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. But Claire asked me to be the liaison between the bus drivers and this committee, and I have tried to do the best I can. Now, most of the time I have spent the last 4 months is trying to get a reasonable price on their pay increase, both for mileage and contracts and all that kind of stuff. But in my due diligence, just like I would approach a real estate deal, I have discovered a lot of discrepancies. There are a lot of discrepancies. By the transportation department, nothing intentional. I will say that Trey and Wanda do an excellent job over there. Yes, they take a lot of heat. Yes, there's been accusations of favoritism. Can I prove it? Can I not prove it? No, I can't. But what I have discovered throughout my due diligence and studying some of these contracts, studying some of these routes, we've had some fraud in this county by some of our contractors. I'm going to state it very specific right now. And I have, and along with Dr. Sullivan, have turned this over to the state comptroller's office. There will be an investigation throughout this next year with some of our contractors that have falsified records, that have cut the system, that have done things that they're not supposed to do. They deviated from the contract. They've broken the contract. And short of, and I hate to use this word, steal from the county, some of them have done that by falsifying these records. That's awful stiff wording right there. And I'm sure there's several of them listening to me right now, and there may be 2 or 3 of them shaking in their boots, and I hope they are. And I hope the state comptroller calls it all out. But it was out of my hands, it was out of Dr. Sullivan's hands, not to put Dr. Sullivan on spot right here, but he and I were both given information about 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, right in the middle of the negotiation, and we had to turn it immediately over to the state. Now, out of that, there's some observations that I have made throughout this. Yes, I will fight for our individual contractors. I think the system we have in place right now works really good, but there is becoming a monopoly in this county. And after the threat was made to this board, to this school district, that the buses were going to be parked, it made me pause to think that if you allow 1, 2, 5 of these contractors have 30 routes, 40 routes, this whole system shuts down. They've got us over a barrel. Now, I'm all for the small guy. I'm all for the guy that's got 2 routes, 3 routes, 5 routes, 10 routes. I think 10 is a reasonable number. And I'll tell you how I kind of came to that. Is if you're managing a transportation system for this county, and that's essentially what you're doing, the odds are one of your buses is not going to crank, maybe 2 of them, maybe somebody's going to lay out drunk one night and not show up the next day, and you've got to drive. You've got to have a system in place to make these buses run. When you've got 20, 30, 40, it's a big, I was fixing to say something ugly, Claire. It's a big, it could be a big mess. And we're the ones going to take the heat on it. So as long as we can work with our small independent operators, as long as we can work, and I've polled my bunch at home and several others, the 5 to 10 is the sweet spot. My good friend James Campbell and I talked about it today. He has a concern that if a route came up that was closer to him than one of his other routes, would he be penalized? And I think that's the reason the provision is in there for the director and the transportation director and the director of schools to bring it to us and ask for a waiver from that. We can waive any of these policies, but there will be more policy changes coming over the next 2 or 3 years before this next board gets in having to deal with the next transportation contract. We're going to level the playing field. I can assure you that. As long as I'm your liaison between us and the bus drivers, I'm going to level the playing field. But I beg you, I implore you to leave this at 10, to adopt the policies that Trey and Dr. Sullivan and the policy committee have come up with. I think they're reasonable. Nobody's getting penalized here right now, but I felt obligated to tell y'all why this is all coming up right now. And again, this is not the end of it. There will be some more policies come out of it. Y'all heard me state one of them the other night. I feel very strongly that anybody that's got a CDL license, an A or B endorsement on it right now, that there's a provision that they can come in and drive for us. I would trust them. If they want to buy a bus, but I didn't want us to get down in the weeds too far with something like that. We'll bring that up in 6 months or before the next school year. I don't know what I left out, Trey, but anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. So yes, Caleb, I would take the lottery system. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yes, Mr. Tidwell.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the lottery system similar to what we do for the summer school as an amendment.
You want to add it too?
Yeah, amendment.
Okay. He agrees to add. So,
If somebody seconds it.
do we have a second? Mr. Vaught just seconded, so we have a second. Now, could you read the entire amendment now?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Can we address, Mr. Lee, do we need to change the 2-year thing?
If we stay with all the other things, we've struck all of, if you look at page 4 and 5, all of that is gone now. That's
Okay,
not-
so that's no longer an issue?
That's gone.
Okay,
If
okay.
it's gone, we no longer have an issue. We take in place what's on 6.
And it's
which
not
is what
back
we-
in there?
It's not back
Okay.
in there, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to address that.
And what we've done now effectively on page 6 is we got rid of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. They make application in the summer. We approve all those, and then they get put into a lottery, and that's how we draw. That gets rid of the 2-year. The 2-year goes away too.
That's fair.
Okay. Okay, could you, what's the motion? Did you get all that?
If this is correct. All right, motion to use a lottery system for new or unfilled bus routes. Sound good?
That's the amendment, yes.
Yes,
But
this
he
is
was
the amendment.
willing to, can we vote for one motion? Yeah. Can we vote for all of it together? Okay, we'll vote for the amendment, okay. Okay. Can we
Mr.
do a roll
Vaughn?
call, please? Oh, no, go ahead.
Mr. Vaught? Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mrs. Darby? Ms. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Tidwell?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Maxwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And now we need to, the original motion, which was, I believe, Mr. Vaughn, and then was seconded by Mr. Vaught.
Vice versa.
Okay, vice versa,
So
sorry.
motion to approve,
It's
subject
been a
to
long
amendment.
night.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, this was motion to adopt with the amendment. Do you want a roll call?
Yes, please.
Mr. Tidwell?
I'm sorry, Trey.
Sorry.
I want to make sure that line 36, where if the number of buses, it goes into effect in 30 days, which is what our contract says. They have to be given 30 days.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Sullivan.
The current contracts, the way I would understand it is the current contracts already signed would be perfectly fine, but for any new contracts that are signed with open routes or new routes, then this would go into effect.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we can start the roll call. Thank you.
Mr. Tidwell?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosales?
Yes.
Ms. Sharp? Mr. Vaught?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mrs. Darby? Mrs. Maxwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all.
All right, let's move to the second one.
Yes.
Adds language for the use of personal communication devices for students pursuant to a change in state law. We discussed this with principals today. The expectation is that we all follow this and hold students accountable. And then we're going to discuss it again tomorrow morning. So we discussed it in June with them, discussed it again today, and then they have questions they can ask, and then it comes back again tomorrow.
Do we have a? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. I didn't think we had a motion on the floor. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, moving to engineering. First, we have Oakland Middle School's concrete pad request, and you'll see this is a donation from Smyrna Ready Mix. Construction is reviewed and has no objections.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Mr. Tidwell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, second, we have Daniel McKee cafeteria mural request. Principal Nicole Sturbin is requesting to allow the Experience Church to paint a mural on the cafeteria. You'll see it's being anticipated cost of $2,075 and it's being donated by the Experience Church.
Move for approval.
Second.
Everybody.
I think we had 3 of them. Okay.
Let's go.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next is Poplar Hill Elementary and CUD cost reimbursement agreement, and you'll see this is work from CUD that they will then reimburse Rutherford County Schools in the amount of $50,395.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Darby. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And then last is our energy efficient lighting program. So of course, you guys are aware we started with our athletic fields last year. Now we're moving into our school buildings. You'll see this anticipated cost is 8.4 million roughly, as Mr. Lee talked about, could go up to 13, 14 million over the next couple of years. This request, though, is just for us to be able to move forward and use Fund 177 for the $4 million currently for this year. That's all that we have in 177. If we get extra funds, we'll come back and amend our budget and hopefully tax more of this stuff too.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
Ms. Maxwell.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Ms.
Mr.
Maxwell.
Tidwell.
Trying to snag in at the last second. So I heard some discussion around this. This is just to get the ball rolling. The decision on the housing and whether or not we do the housing, that is separate from this.
I want to do a little research on that and come back and tell you where we're going to land. But we've got $4 million allocated. This gets the ball rolling, and I'll come back and give you a recommendation and tell you what we think, how that affects the numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to make sure.
Let me try
Sorry.
this again.
Good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, couple updated job description. First is a recommended updated job description for the ISA accountant.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you, Ms. Darby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey, question, what about the Mercer Water and Sewer thing?
Did I miss that one?
We skipped it.
The what?
CUD, we did CUD.
No, we did.
Yeah, that's the one I made a motion to approve. Poplar Hill?
No, Mercer Water and Sewer, is it not on, I'm looking online, is it not on here tonight?
It's not.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the one online.
The county requested that to be moved, to be
Okay,
taken off.
sorry.
Next.
All right, next is an updated job description request for the payroll accounting specialist number 1.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Short. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next is an updated job description request for the payroll accounting specialist 2.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Sorry.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Vaught. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next, we have a sponsorship request from Dunkin' Donuts for $2,000 for 6 years, so that Smyrna can run on Dunkin'. I just wanted to try to say that again.
That is great.
I got to say it Tuesday. I want to figure out a way to say it again.
Move to approve. Second.
There you go.
Stark,
Ms.
thank you,
Hey,
Ms.
Short.
Darby.
can we get Dunkin' Donuts to bring us some right now? Because we've been
done.
we've been here since 3:30. So if
We're
anybody's,
not done. We got to
I don't know if anybody's close to Domino's or Dunkin' Donuts
I
or
thought somebody ordered pizza a while ago.
Chick-fil-A.
yeah, or Sonic. We'll take anything. We're not beggars.
Where is Sonic tonight? Any other night, those guys would be here.
We
I
should-
thought there's a Sonic on Main Street.
Yeah, anybody close.
Taco
we're-
Bell. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
We'll take anything.
All right. Next, we had just a discussion on our open positions. I don't know if there's any motion or anything that needs to be done there. I don't think so. Okay.
Okay.
Quick financial report, our teacher checks. So we talked about this in April and May. Teachers have traditionally not been paid when they started until September. Now they are going to be paid in August. And so our teachers who were on that pay structure should have received their second check yesterday or today. And so
hallelujah.
all of our new teachers now will be paid, I think it's August 19th, or maybe the 20th. I can't remember. It's usually the 20th. I don't remember where that day falls. I want to give a special shout out because that is on the county finance department and our payroll department. And so Karen Ladd, Bonnie Cox, Terry Reisner, Chrissy Carruthers, of course, Michael Smith, and then Brian Runyon. That took a huge lift of getting 3,000 people extra checks. The next part of that is our HR department is working on the $2,000 teacher bonuses, stipends from last year's teachers. A reminder, not for new teachers this year, last year's teachers. We are adding employee numbers to that spreadsheet, and once that is done, then payroll will start hand entering all of those. So you're probably looking at August, like we've kind of been our target
August,
from
okay.
the beginning. But I thank all of them for their work on that. So that's our financial.
Ms. Maxwell.
Yes, Mr. Tidwell.
Teachers having a good August.
They are. Good July, too.
Yeah. So once this groundwork is laid, is it something that we can revisit next year for possibly bi-monthly?
Possibly. And so it's, of course, the county controls finance or payroll procedures, but this was the first step in that direction.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
So,
Okay.
couple quick directors updates. I want to thank our instruction team and Marcy Lehman, who is our professional development specialist. So years ago, We used to spend $400,000 for our DI conference, what we called it differentiated instruction, and that was great. But I guess in 2018, when I was in curriculum instruction, we started doing it ourselves. And so this year we had 1,286 teachers go for training the last 2 days, plus 233 of our own teachers there that were presenters, and the total cost was less than $500. And so
Good.
our team does a great job, so they deserve the shout out. Also, we've had principals meetings yesterday and today. I do this a lot with him, but he's very supportive. So Dr. Michael Torrance, Motlow, appreciate them giving, and Gary Winton giving us that space the last 2 days. And I did not expect it, but Dr. Torrance running, 3 sites, he showed up and was a member of our principal meeting today, and then came back for the secondary portion with our high school principal. So for a president of a university, college and university, to come to our meetings to be with our principals says a whole lot. So we really appreciate him. Last thing to discuss is TOA. So we appreciate all of our partnerships we've had with Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. The board has this for them. There's no action that's needed right now. Ms. Darby, if you need another one, I've got another one down here. Yep. So this is no actions needed, but we've had a contract with TOA, Ascension St. Thomas, and Results Physiotherapy. I know for sure Ascension St. Thomas is not interested in renewing. They don't get enough business from us, so they're not interested. TOA has made some changes that the board has here. The changes are pretty tough for us to accept. You'll see it's $100,000 less. It goes from a 1 year to a 3 year, but the big caveat for me as the director was not having free physicals for our students. And so the other portion that our schools struggle with is that in order for them to have any type of sponsorship, there's an exclusivity agreement with TOA, and you will see kind of the 2/3 of the way down, TOA receives marketing exclusivity as the official provider of sports medicine, and then we can't advertise or promote anything like orthopedics, sports medicine, physical therapy, chiropractic, or MRI, we definitely understand that for the money they provide. Where we get stuck is that just because a walk-in clinic may be able to do x-rays, we have a difference of opinion about whether or not we can advertise for that. And they, to give us this money, will not allow us to do those things. And so we're probably going to be moving away, is going to be my recommendation from this agreement. So we have already talked to our physician that signs off on all of our nurses, and they're willing to sign off on all of our athletic training standing orders. So just know that that's going. It'll open up some things for our schools to get more sponsorships.
Yes, because I know of 3 schools that were very upset when they found out that 3 chiropractors who do not offer the same services that TOA does, it's not even the same thing, were not allowed to give to these schools, and they lost out valuable funding because it was going to violate the current TOA contract. So I agree. I think it's time to.
And we still love our partnership with TOA. This
Still
just
love them,
portion doesn't. This portion doesn't work for us.
No.
Very last thing, transportation. I think we have appreciate the work of all of our contractors, transportation department, all of you all, because that has taken a huge lift to get that going. And so right now we have 5 open routes, 4 without insurance, but we believe 2 will have insurance in the next couple of days. So that's going to only leave us 2 other open routes. And I know Trey's meeting with that individual contractor soon, or Wanda is. So where we were worried about being, we're in good shape.
Okay. Ms. Sharp.
Anybody else have anything?
Anybody else? I think you're it.
Okay, can you put her picture on the board? I'm gonna rise so I can read a little bit easier. I know it's a long night, but, there she is. Okay, so I rise tonight and to honor the life and the legacy of a beloved catering business owner here in Smyrna, Jane Holmes, who recently passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. Jane was not only a gifted chef, baker, and businesswoman, but also a tireless supporter of youth education and the culinary arts in Rutherford County. In her memory, the Holmes family has generously donated many professional-grade items, both to Smyrna High School's culinary program and the soon-to-be launched state-of-the-art culinary program at Laverne High School. These contributions reflect Jane's passion for mentoring the next generation of chefs and leaders in the hospitality industry. So they called us and said, y'all can come and get whatever you want to. Their business was ran out of the home. Nobody knew what the professional steamers were. So I called Dr. Hatchett and said, come get these steamers. So included in this, and this is not an extensive list, there were chef jackets, aprons, tuxedo shirts. There was an entire room of nothing but linens. So Smyrna got purple linens, and Laverne High School got blue and silver, or any other color that they wanted for events. In addition to supporting culinary education, Jane's love for the arts lives on through a heartfelt donation to Laverne's High School Drama Department. The family provided bolts of high-quality fabric and professional streamer to help enhance costume design and stage production efforts. Jane Holmes built a thriving catering business known for excellence, hospitality, and heartfelt service. Her warm talent, y'all can't get this done, and generosity made her a cherished figure across Middle Tennessee. I originally met Jane when I moved here as an orphan from Memphis at Christ Church, and they put me in the kitchen because I'd worked for Kraft. She may be gone, but her influence will continue to nourish minds and hearts for years to come. A special thank you goes to some ladies at our schools. This effort would not have been possible without the help of several incredible individuals. A heartfelt thank you goes out to the ladies at both Smyrna and Laverne High School, who selfishly gave up their part of their summer break to help prepare spaces and coordinate logistics for these generous donations. So y'all know when I call, I got something good for you. Something good's coming somewhere. Additionally, a huge thank you goes to the LHS girls who came with energy, enthusiasm, working together like a NASCAR pit crew to load, sort, and pack every item with care and speed. Your teamwork and dedication ensured that Jane's legacy would be honored with excellence. Together, we celebrate the lasting impact of a woman who believed deeply in the power of service and education and love for the community. And last but not least, I would like to make a clarifying statement. When I spoke to Mr. Vault about being 8 o'clock, we have a family that's out in the foyer that's been here since 3:30. It was not my concern. I'll be here till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning if y'all needed me to, but don't speak to me like that again, ever again. Thank you.
Ms. Max.
Hold on. I'm so sorry, but I failed at the beginning of our meeting to recognize someone who has recently passed away, and she meant a lot to this community, and that is my dear friend, Commissioner Robert P.'s wife, Patricia, who just so happened to teach when she was at Central Middle School, my oldest son. She was a lovely lady, and she will be missed, and my condolences go out to the family.
I was principal there, and she was a very special teacher, very well respected. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. Now, Mr. Tittle, I apologize.
You took the words out of my mouth. I went to school with his daughter, their daughter, and I'm sure I didn't get to meet the wife, but I'm sure it was a reflection. Wonderful, and just wanted to keep them in our prayers moving forward.
She survived the 8th grade trip with those Central kids to New York and Boston, and my son still talks about it, but kudos to her. And
yes.
You know, when I was principal there, she was always great because you split your britches, she'd sew them up in the home ec department. So it was great.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned.